Hi, Magnify family. We miss you guys so much. What a whirlwind the last few weeks have been. If you're like us, everything feels like it's spinning a little bit, trying to find new rhythms, trying to figure out how to take care of our families, trying to figure out what life looks like right now with everything kind of moving online until it's safe for activities to just resume. But I just want to challenge you right now to not be discouraged, to know deep in your heart that the Lord is enough. During Magnify's inception, our entire mission was that Magnify would be an arts program that made it easier to see the Lord. And as believers first and artists second, it's our job to just kind of lead the charge in worshiping. And that means worshiping the Lord before the storm. That means worshiping the Lord in the midst of the storm. And that means worshiping the Lord after the storm. So I hope you're taking time in the midst of all this craziness to just pause and spend time with the Lord, to pause and thank Him for what you do have. It's important for us as believers to know that He is faithful. He's not faithful just because of our circumstances, but He is faithful in spite of our circumstances. Some of you have been asking why we have decided to continue to go forward with the recital. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, I want our kids to have something to look forward to. I'm a mom of 4, and to the very best of my ability, I want to protect my kids from just kind of the uncertainty and the fear that is circulating. Their lives, in addition to ours as adults, have been kind of turned upside down, but we want things to stay just kind of as stable for them as possible. In addition to that, we want to communicate to our own hearts and to our kids' hearts that there is hope, that life will go back to, maybe it will look a little bit different, but it will go back at some point. So we want our kids to have something to be hopeful for. But in addition to that, I think the message of this year's recital was God-given and needs to be heard. Every year we plan the recital theme about a year in advance, and we chose this year's recital theme last summer. And last summer when we were planning the theme, we had no idea what this spring would look like. But you know what? God did. And I think He directed our hearts as we were kind of choosing music and choosing themes. So we settled on Bright Lights, Big City. And so the whole idea behind our theme this year is that our kids would stop by different great cities with great music and great costumes. And then the second half of the show, that it would kind of transition and we would talk about how we are, how our students are, the bright lights right here in our city, in our community, in Houston. And as we kind of began working on this recital, we threw around ideas about whether or not to keep the cities U.S. or whether to open them up to be global cities. And we ended up deciding to go with global cities. And so the music that you're gonna start having, these teachers are gonna start sending out, it's going to be from cities all across the world. And I just want to encourage you to use that and to pray for those particular areas. If your kids are doing a song from Paris, then pray for Paris. Pray for the people in Paris. Pray for the medical staff. Pray for the believers there. Pray for the leadership there. We are the global body of Christ. And one thing that is true is that this pandemic, as terrible as it is, it has connected us at that level. And so let us be the body of Christ by praying for those other parts of the world, by praying for our leadership here in the U.S. But most importantly, I want our kids to know, I want my son to know that he is the light of the world, and that every day that we get a choice of how we're going to respond. I am a very type A person. I like to control things, and this has been really, really hard because this is completely out of my control. But I am in control of my response, and I hope that my response is one that chooses thankfulness, that chooses joy, but most importantly, one that directs other people to the person of Jesus Christ. And so we want that message to be communicated to our kids. Part of Magnify's mission, actually Magnify's sole mission, is to make God easier to see. So we want to do that. We want to do that in your kids' lives over the next few weeks. We want to do that in our surrounding community. And we want to do that through the message of our recital. Not to mention the fact that we feel like when all of this kind of comes to a close and this season kind of wraps up, that we are going to have the biggest, best celebration because we're all going to be so excited about being together and being in one place as the body of Christ. In the meantime, stay connected. I know it's not the same. I'm not a super techie person. In fact, this is way outside of my comfort zone. But stay connected. Your teachers are going to be checking in with kids just to have that community aspect for them to get to see them and converse with them. We're going to be posting videos of choreography. Let us know if you have questions. We love you guys so much. We're here for you. We can do this together, even while we're apart. Love you to the moon and back.